What we're going to talk about is the big headline of the week, the Chinese Gaokao. As we all know, this is the first major test in the lives of Chinese high school students, with expectations higher than even those of their parents. However, for American high school students, their exams are more like a comprehensive quality assessment, not just a test of knowledge. Imagine if the Gaokao were like this. Our essay questions might turn into, please describe how you defeated 3 fierce beasts with the remote control in front of your home TV, thus successfully grabbing the last piece of chocolate cake. I guess this topic would take me 3 days and nights to write about. China and the United States have their own merits in terms of educational philosophy and practice. The Chinese like to say, learning is endless, while Americans like to say, play hard, work hard. It is clear that our educational differences are like fried rice and hamburgers. They look different, but they both serve the purpose of filling our bellies. What are your thoughts on this topic? What kind of education do you think we should adopt? Do you have experience with the Gaokao, or what is your view on the differing educational philosophies and practices between China and the United States? If you have thoughts, please leave a comment in the comment section for discussion. Next, let's share a story about a student who is both a primary and high school student in China, which already gives me a headache. This family has more student identities than books at home. This child once dreamed of living an ordinary life just like his relatives, working in a factory, finding someone to marry and have children with, spending all his savings on a major illness, and finally being cremated. Well, this dream sounds poorer than my bank account. But his fate was changed. Guess what? What did he do? Or what did his parents do? Did one of them win the lottery, or finally discovered their family's ancestral treasure, or their dogs suddenly started laying golden eggs? If you have ideas, please leave a comment in the comment section, and we will announce the answer in the comments. According to a statement released by the Taiwan Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Chinese military has conducted multiple flight and naval activities in the Taiwan Strait, including various types of aircraft such as J-10, J-11, J-16, Su-30, H-6, and early warning aircraft, as well as 4 ships, with 10 flights crossing the Taiwan Strait median line. It seems that the Chinese military is very concerned about the Taiwan issue, but I wonder if these aircraft and ships are going to war or on vacation. Next, let's talk about espionage activities. Anonymous U.S. officials have confirmed that China has been conducting espionage activities in Cuba for a long time. Wow, it sounds like a plot from a James Bond movie. But I wonder what kind of intelligence China wants to obtain from Cuba. Do they want to know the secrets of Fidel Alejandro Castro Ruz? Can the U.S. tolerate China engaging in military espionage activities in its own backyard? Recently, there have been reports that China has set up a military spy station in Cuba. While U.S. officials previously denied that China had established a monitoring base in Cuba, they now claim that China has been conducting espionage activities in Cuba for some time and has even upgraded its intelligence collection facilities in 2019. Does China want to obtain some intelligence from Cuba? Will this espionage activity, like reconnaissance balloons, disrupt the momentum of improving U.S.-China relations? Facing the U.S., China previously seemed reluctant to mention the word competition, but under the U.S.'s frank attitude, the competition between the two countries is becoming increasingly intense. Therefore, Beijing recently adopted a dual-track strategy of both soft and hard approaches. According to a study by a German think tank, in recent years, as geopolitical tensions have intensified and the demand for countermeasures against foreign sanctions has increased, China is working to improve its own sanctions policy tools. The European Union is considering imposing sanctions on Chinese companies that circumvent Western sanctions against Russia, so it is necessary to understand what countermeasures China may take. According to a poll, Europeans currently harbor hostility towards Russia, but have reservations towards China. Nearly half of the respondents believe that China is a partner of Europe, with only 35% of people believing that there is competition or even conflict between China and Europe. In the 11 countries surveyed, Germany, Sweden, France, and Denmark generally consider China to be a competitor or enemy rather than an ally or partner, while the remaining countries are the opposite. The chief of the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Russia, Valery Gerasimov, recently stated in a video conference with the chief of the Joint Staff Department of China's Central Military Commission, Liu Junli, that the strong military partnership between Russia and China provides stability for the world. Gerasimov is the commander of Russia's military operations in Ukraine, and he also stated in the meeting that he believes that today's meeting will help us continue to strengthen the strategic defense partnership between Russia and China. South Africa officially announced that President Ramaphosa gave a briefing to Chinese President Xi Jinping on African leaders' visits to Russia and Ukraine in an attempt to end the Russia-Ukraine conflict. In the global manufacturing industry, China still holds a dominant position, which was consolidated when multinational companies flocked to China after it joined the World Trade Organization in 2001. However, more and more factors are prompting companies to seek backup plans. Western companies are urgently seeking alternative markets to China, a strategy commonly known as China Plus One. India is making every effort to become this Plus One. At a Republican rally, Trump said that the lawsuits against him were entirely politically motivated and intended to prevent him from returning to the White House. Trump claimed in his speech that a force is trying to destroy the United States, saying, "I have no doubt about it. This force is worse than Russia, China, North Korea, and Iran combined." The Japanese government will implement a new policy of proactively providing assistance to developing countries, rather than waiting for the recipient countries to make requests. This is believed to be to counter China's Belt and Road Initiative. Next, let's talk about internet censorship. Some comments suggest that while Chinese feminist bloggers are being deleted and subjected to personal attacks, anti-feminist groups advocating for the establishment of a slaughterhouse to mass kill women and organize online harassment campaigns have not been censored, as the standard for online platform censorship is whether it harms social stability and national security. Wow, this is truly shocking news, but I wonder what these people are thinking. Don't they know how immoral this is? Next, let's talk about the Taiwan issue. Taiwanese President Tsai Ing-wen stated during an anti-terrorism exercise in Gaokao, southwestern Taiwan, that to maintain peace in the Taiwan Strait, Taiwan must first strengthen itself. The more secure Taiwan is, the more secure the world will be. During this exercise, Taiwan security personnel demonstrated how they would resist maritime terrorist actions. Tsai Ing-wen promised that her government would promote policies to maintain maritime and border security. Recently, Honduras opened its embassy in Beijing, becoming the first embassy in China since the two countries established diplomatic relations. Meanwhile, since Taiwanese President Tsai Ing-wen took office in 2016, Beijing has increased its pressure on Taiwan's international space and has successfully attracted 9 of Taiwan's former allies. Honduran President Castro arrived in Shanghai on the 9th for a 6-day visit to China. China has revealed that Castro will meet with Chinese President Xi Jinping to jointly plan and lead the future development of China-Honduras relations. After a 2-day stay in Shanghai, Castro will travel to Beijing on the 10th, where she is expected to attend the unveiling ceremony of the Honduran embassy in Beijing. Taiwan's Minister of Digital Affairs, Tang Feng, visited the UK on Sunday, June 11, to share Taiwan's efforts and experiences in digital government governance, communication resilience, and AI democratization. Finally, let's talk about artificial intelligence. Microsoft has decided to transfer top AI experts from China to Canada to respond to the trend of escalating tensions between the US and China. This plan involves 20 to 40 experts, and Microsoft Asia Research Institute in Beijing has begun to apply for visas for these experts to go to Canada. Wow, these experts are really lucky to be able to go to Canada and enjoy a life of freedom and democracy. However, I wonder if the Chinese government will also feel disappointed? They no longer have these experts to help them. On June 11, the Chinese Foreign Ministry's official website issued a press release stating that Assistant Foreign Minister Nong Rong met with South Korean Ambassador to China, Zheng Zehao, on Saturday to lodge a protest over the South Korean side's improper response to the meeting between China's ambassador to South Korea and the leader of the South Korean opposition party, Lee In-myung, and expressed serious concern and dissatisfaction. Recently, China is building the world's largest desert solar power plant in northern China. This is a very important project as it will help reduce China's reliance on fossil fuels while also protecting the environment. Meanwhile, the construction of high-rise buildings in the Mongolian capital, Ulaanbaatar, is being driven by revenue from exporting mineral resources to China and other countries. On Saturday, June 10, Vice President of the China Population Association, Yuan Xinxin, pointed out at an event that changes in cultural attitudes are a major factor affecting young people's willingness to have children. It seems that China's social and cultural issues are gradually changing. Recently, drone company DJI released a promotional video for its new product, the Inspire 3, which was filmed in Hong Kong. It was pointed out that DJI may not have obtained an exemption and may have violated Hong Kong's small unmanned aircraft order.